Listen up, guys. Winter is here. And if you're powering through the holiday chaos like I am, it's time to ditch the coffee jitters. I want you to try Mud Water. This is a clean coffee alternative that will keep you energetic without the crash. I'm talking chai, cacao, and adaptogens like lion's mane and reishi. Every ingredient in Mud Water is organic, non-GMO, it's vegan, gluten-free, and guys, get ready for this. There is zero sugar. That's what makes Mud Water the perfect way to keep energy clean and focused with no late night regrets. You can say goodbye to those sleepless nights. Mud Water's gonna give you all the fuel with none of the burnouts. Guys, take a scoop, put it in water, stir, sit back and drink. It's that easy. I like to add creamer and sometimes I get real fancy and put a little honey in there. That's up to you. And I got a deal for you. I want you to go to mudwtr.com/Chael. That's a 43% savings. Right now, we're going to include free shipping and we're even going to put in a free frother. When they ask, tell them I sent you. Get a new boost in life this winter with Mud Water. Head to mudwater.com right now. Get your starter pack today or just click on the link below. Will Jon Jones be champion at the end of 2025? You guys might have seen this. This was going around. They did it with other champions as well, but Jon got slipped in there. And the most likely answer is no for all of your champions. It's very uncommon. That would represent 3 fights. It's very uncommon and very unlikely, statistically, that anybody in any weight class is going to win their next 3 fights. But I don't think that Jon's just going to have 3 fights, do you? I don't think that Jon's going to have any fights without it being Aspinall, but what if it's not? You're put in a very interesting situation there. If Jon simply will not sign to fight Tom Aspinall, is there a way around it? Does he have an argument? And I'm not talking about he doesn't fight. Jon's choices right now is fight Aspinall or don't fight. All of the champions who have a number 1 contender named have the option to fight that number 1 contender or to not fight. But would you make an exception for Jon? Could there be another answer? Could you find a way? Is there any excuse that Jon could give by example? It's getting harder and harder, for example, for Jon to say he's not the rightful number 1 contender. And in most weight classes, that would hold up to a degree. If I'm to look at 135 right now, we've decided that we're going to go with Merab versus Nurmagomedov. But you had Figueiredo there. You got Peter Yan there. You got Sean O'Malley there. You got Dominic Cruz there. It's not as clear and cut and dry as it might be at heavyweight. So I'm just thinking of this. Let's just exhaust this. Could Jon make a claim? And some guys have done this. I'm not fighting him. I think that is the rightful guy. So if you want me to do it, you fight that guy. I will be there to take on the winner. It doesn't feel like we're in one of those times. It doesn't. But how soon does Jon have to fight? What delays could he come up with? If there is a delay, and there's a meaningful reason, do we take the belt off him? And if you don't take the belt off him, do you fight Aspinall with somebody else? In the meantime and in between time. And could you do all of those things at once? Could you accept a reasonable reason for Jon Jones to wanting to push the fight out to, let's call it, November? Could you accept a reasonable reason? Could you keep the belt on him if he does it? And would you keep Aspinall on ice waiting for that fight? Because that would be one of the strong moves that I will see in this sport often. I just personally don't get it. Fight the fights you can fight when you can fight them. Win the fights you can win when you can win them. Get the fight you can get and get it in the ring. That would be promotion 101 for me. Get the fight in the ring. Everything else we have to debate and where are you going to go from here and what's the point? Get the fight into the ring. So if you had 2 guys say, yes, we will do it. in November. Would you accept that? And if you would, why? What is as far out as you will go to not have a heavyweight championship fight? Every single weight class, every single title is going to be contested 3 times in the next calendar year. At heavyweight, you have 2 champions. But there is no way that we can expect the heavyweight championship in any form is going to be contested a total of 6 times in a calendar year. If we kept the belt on Jon, and we did, and for very good reason, we showed grace because he had an injury. That is very consistent. If a guy is missing fights, but it is due to injury, you show him grace and you let him keep his belt. But he is healthy, and he's returned, and he did not return against the interim champion. That has not been done before. And we had good reason why. Because Stipe, who's a legend and was saying goodbye, was told he was going to get something for his last night. We want to make sure that we got it for him. All right. But how long do you wait with Tom? If you have Tom fight, and he is going to fight Jon, that's done. Whatever the excuse that we're not even going to hypothetically come up with, that fight will happen in November. But you got to wait for November, whether you want to or not. That's what you've got to do. Do you, as a promotion, wait? And if you don't, and you have Tom fight, who is a prize fighter and would like to fight. In fact, he falls into the category of guy I was speaking about a minute ago that would like to fight 3 times in the next year because it's what he does for a living. If he does go out and fight, do you have the interim title up? Should we have a small contingency of athletes pursue an interim championship fight with Tom? Because a grand total of none of them are. But that same exact number, a grand total of none, are pursuing a fight with Jon. So at a minimum, we can deduce that people tied to the fight game, the fellow heavyweights, the managers, believe Tom and Jon is going to get done. But at no point in this game is it not a good idea to be next. Terry Brands 101. When you can no longer get what you want, get the next best thing available. If you want to be champion and now you're in the backside, come back for the bronze. Get the next best thing available at all times. We have nobody aligning themselves with Tom. We have nobody aligning themselves with Jones. So even if we do get those 2 to go fight, we don't have anybody behind that. I believe that fight would have a backup fighter. I believe that would be one of the more risky fights you could make. Just because you signed it doesn't mean you're going to be able to get that fight to the ring. I think that the promotion would agree. I think that there is a spot with participation included for a backup fighter, none of which anybody is campaigning for. The most of recent memory is Jamal Hill, and prior to that, it was Alex Pereira. We get 2 guys that are down a division. We don't have a single heavyweight campaigning for it. And I think that they probably do know more than us. I think the word does get around the campfire and everybody gets sworn to secrecy. And generally when guys go quiet, that means a deal is in place. But I don't believe that Jones and Aspinall is in place. And if you were in charge, how would you do it? Would you have it be next? If it's going to be next, would you do it Q3, Q4 in the year? Would you put it off that long? Would you have Tom fight in between time? And if you did, would you make it for the interim championship?